Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the Club of the Man 1993, and this is my Monday Night Raw review. And of course, this is not live, this is pre-recorded. Again, just like last week, it's just a super busy week for me. And the big important thing I gotta get done this week, of course, is my Survivor Series preview and predictions. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to record this one, give my quick thoughts on Raw, because Raw this past week, well, first off, I missed about half of the episode of Raw. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I got the gist that, unlike Dynamite last week, I felt like I could grade this show. And I felt that I did sort of jinx myself a little bit. Just a little bit. Because I mentioned, I think it was last week, how Raw was probably my favorite, weekly show right now. And then they put on a show like this. Oh, gosh. So, I would say Raw was horrible. It just felt like one of those shows where it's like, you recapped, you said, hey, this is happening Saturday, wrestle a little exhibition match. That's what it basically was to me. It just didn't feel like, it didn't really I lessen my excitement for Survivor Series, but didn't increase it either. It felt like a pointless, breather, skip through, let's just get through this show, basically. It wasn't horrible, but we had a lot of crossing over the brands. We had, no development or storylines, although we did have some backlash because of a temporary name change, but apparently it was fixed, and because of the backlash, they decided not to move forward with the name change, despite the fact that the superstar did request it. But of course, again, I just want to fly through this again. It's nothing against you guys, it's just, if I would have gone live for both Raw, because tonight before I go to bed before Thanksgiving, I'm trying to do my Raw review and my Survivor Series preview and predictions. If I can at least get those two things done, I will be good. So maybe tomorrow, after I'm done spending time with my family for Thanksgiving, hopefully I can get the AEW review also. That way, I won't have too much to catch up on by the end of this weekend. As, of course, again, the holidays are right here. Hope you guys are all getting prepared for an excellent Thanksgiving meal. I definitely am too. I'm very excited for it as well. But let's talk about Raw really quickly here. And also, of course, which I will share, of course, in my Survivor Series, preview and predictions. I did recently state that, I'm considering maybe doing a rebranding of the channel. Well, still going to be the Club with the Man 1993, but also expanding a little bit more with my social media. And the first order of business I did is I changed my Twitter handle. Before, it was the Man Airboy 93. Now, I wanted to make everything the Club of the Man 1993. Unfortunately, Twitter did not allow any more than 15 characters. So I couldn't do the Club of the Man 1993. So, to make it a little more reasonable, my Twitter handle is now called the Club of the Man 93. So, of course, guys, make sure to follow me at the Club of the Man 93. And maybe some more things to come. I do already have an idea, though, for a new intro. I might, change up the graphics a little bit just to, make them look a little more smoother, in my opinion. But we will, of course, take care of all of that business as time comes. I mean, again, I have ideas in my head, but as, after we get through these this week as well, should be a little more, flexible. I mean, yes, gotta do some stuff, prepare for the holidays, stuff, prepare for my wedding next summer. But yeah, so we still got to, get all that figured out. But it will be okay. We will, of course, we will take care of the business of what new ideas I have in mind for the channel. But anyways, let's roll and talk about Raw really quick. We opened up, well, of course, Raw also took place in Albany, New York. We opened up with Kevin Owens coming out. He's talking about entering War Games as the fifth man. Because he's gunning after one person, which of course is Roman Reigns. Talks about his history with Roman Reigns. He's taken Roman to the limit 3 times. Mentions again probably how he would have ended his history-making title reign before it even started at the Royal Rumble and then the Last Man Standing match and this and that. And of course, he accepted the invitation from from SmackDown to be in the War Games match. And, of course, the rest of the team come out, say they're going to kick some butt, before being interrupted by Sami Zayn. And then the Judgment, he says his piece. The Judgment, they come out, and they say, you know, their piece and whatnot. It basically just sets up for just a random tag match with the Brawling Brutes, 6-man tag, the Brawling Brutes, Pete Dunne, Ridge Holland, and Sheamus versus the Judgment Day's Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor. And the match, of course, we know what was solid, but again, it was just felt random at the time. The Brawling Brutes do win with a bro kick from Sheamus onto Dominic Mysterio. Afterwards, though, they attack Sheamus, but then of course the OC come out and we get a brawl between the OC and Judgment Day. Kevin Owens, though, gets the final say on Finn Balor, hitting him with a stunner. We have an interview backstage with Johnny Gargano, who's preparing for a rematch against The Miz. But then The Miz says he hurt himself doing a TikTok, and it sets up for the fact that his replacement is going to be Omos. So Johnny Gargano instead took on Omos and lost. That didn't really do much of anything. That was just a filler, waste of time, in my opinion. Okay, I do want to talk a little bit in depth, though, about this Seth Rollins interview. So, we get a recap of what's been going on with the United States Championship recently. Between, the stuff with him and Mustafa Ali, him and Bobby Lashley, and of course him and Austin Theory, which really, really got me, got me rolling for Austin Theory last week for sure. As I call last week, hashtag Raw is Theory. Anyways, though, Seth Rollins, though, was interviewed. He said he's never felt better, despite the fact he has all these targets on him. He is going to be defending the U.S. title in a triple threat match Survivor Series, because he has a bone to pick with both Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory. You'll take Bobby Lashley, you survived him, and he's got a PhD in getting back up. Austin Theory is still the stupidest person on the face of the planet, and doesn't even get it twisted. It's not because he tried to cash in on the U.S. title. He thought that he was very well timed. It's because of what he tried to do last week. You can call Cody Rhodes and ask him what it's like when you pick a fight with Seth Rollins. See how that recovery's going. They're not in War Games, but their match will be a war, because they are all on the cusp and could snap at any moment. The real question is, though, what are these boys going to do to prepare for him? Because he is the visionary, revolutionary, and he'll still be a United States champion, blah, blah, blah. Austin Theory was watching backstage. He turns to the camera to cut a promo. He mentions how Seth doesn't understand him, no one understands him, and rock bottom is the best thing that ever happened to him, which is very true. He's not that kid he's been in the ring before. He's a new man, and he'll be taken seriously. At Survivor Series, his entire business is going to know what time it is. And then he had a match with Mustafa Ali. He won the match with the A-Town down. Afterwards, Bobby Lashley appears and says, if Theory wants to be taken seriously, he'll be serious. And if he waits in the ring, he'll come down there and give everyone a preview of the Survivor Series, in which Lashley's still in the ring. Bobby comes out and he admits he's surprised Theory's still in the ring. Look at him standing there all tough like he wants to fight. And if he thinks he can stand in the way between Lashley and the U.S. title, he's got another thing coming. And all he had to do was pick Lashley's scraps, and he couldn't get the job done. Austin says everyone in this arena knows he'd be the champion if it weren't for Lashley. He runs Lashley down for not being able to get the job done, and both of them are going to underestimate him, so he's going to end up as the U.S. champion. But Lashley says he's not going to walk out tonight, and hits the ring to brawl with him. And they basically brawl. Theory even tried to hit a steel chair on Lashley, but Lashley no-sold it. And then they brawled into Gorilla. And then, of course, Austin threw Mustafa Ali into Lashley. And Ali shoves Lashley. And then, of course, Lashley then takes and throws him to the LED boards a few times. Okay, so let me get this straight. We're getting a triple threat match on Saturday, okay? It sounds good. Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, Austin Theory. Cool. First off, why isn't Mustafa Ali in this? Yes, he's been losing, but this whole thing, the first person to really get involved with this whole U.S. title picture was Mustafa Ali. The feud that they kind of built right before Crown Jewel with Seth Rollins and Mustafa Ali, outstanding. But now you're randomly having Bobby Lashley go heel, which again, I still do. I mean, again, I haven't done the turn alert yet. I still don't get why you want to try to label Bobby Lashley as a heel when again, he got the freaking U.S. title costed thanks to Brock Lesnar, and Seth Rollins insulted him about being a soldier and goaded him into defending his U.S. title, and he lost because Seth Rollins goaded him in. Then you have Seth Rollins still shooting on Cody Rhodes. So, again, my problem again with this whole thing is, again, the match, don't get me wrong, is going to be excellent. But one, why is Mustafa Ali getting literally pushed to the side? Because he's literally had that heart and soul character built well for the past few weeks. But now he's not even going to get the shot, even though he became a problem to Seth before. And then again, Bobby Lashley doing what he's doing is not making me boo him. I love what he's doing, but he has every right to feel the way he is because he had Brock Lesnar sneak away a victory on him at Crown Jewel, and Seth Rollins, for crying out loud, pulled heel tactics to get the U.S. title off of him. So with that, and Seth Rollins still gloating about what he's done to Cody Rhodes, again, my thing is still, how am I supposed to want to cheer for Seth Rollins but boo Bobby Lashley? You know, it does not make any sense. And I mean, don't get me wrong, this is going to be great, but these dynamics just make no sense to me. Then we had a random match with, this is where I actually turned on the show. Elias and Chad Gable defeated the Alpha Academy in a random 6-man tag match. Then we had another poker game with JBL and Corbin playing poker. And then Drew McIntyre rolls up, and it sets up for another match with Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin. I'm sorry, why is it every time there's a brand crossover match, why is it every time it has to be Drew McIntyre versus Baron Corbin? How many brand crossover matches have we had that? How many times we have brands crossover had we had that match? We've seen it how many times? I don't care. And the other thing too, yes, I'm still not jumping up and down for this, Baron Corbin JBL alliance. But the other thing too is I don't get why you had to have Corbin already lose. Yet he was protected, of course, because Akira Tozawa got involved, which they seem to have worn off what's it called? They seem to have worn off the ninja gimmick on Tozawa. Okay, but is he really going to be anything in the future? And then of course he wins off the strategy because Tozawa jumps into JBL's arms and then runs off with his hat as a goofball. So I don't know what that was about, but yeah, that's what led to Corbin losing. We also had a segment with the OC backstage. AJ says how the OC is family and things between him and Finn end at Survivor Series. But Finn rolls over and says he's not a bad guy, he's worse, he's the devil. And when you dance the devil, you never dance again. And then Rhea Ripley blindsides Mia Yim. And then we get a wild looking brawl as well between the OC and Judgment Day. Also, to mention this too, at the time on Monday, and they said a couple times this past week and last week, they were calling Mia Yim Michin. Well, apparently, Mia Yim requested her ring name to be changed to Michin, which means crazy in Korean. Why? I don't know, but briefly on Monday, I mean, of course, on WWE.com, it was WWE.com was listed, but still, she still does not have a profile on the WWE app. Come on, give her one. She deserves one. they were literally going to change her name to Michin, but then because of the fan backlash, they changed it back to Mia Yim. And even like throughout the night, you know, they said Michin a few times, but of course they still said Mia Yim after that too. But it sounds like it's staying at Mia Yim, which good with me. I heard that Mia had asked for that because I guess most of like the OC members already have a nickname, and she wanted a nickname. Which, okay, if you wanted to have her Michin be her nickname, okay, but don't make it her actual permanent name, in my opinion. But I'm glad she's still staying at Mia Yim. Thank God Almighty. What else we got here? We had the baby faces come out and say how they're going to kick some ass at War Games. And then of course Bailey enters, of course, as well. They mock the idea of how the babyface team said they're going to wait till Friday to reveal their fifth member. Okay, random, like we literally had like nothing out of it. They basically just bicker with each other, and it leads to the main event, which was Rhea Ripley versus Asuka for the War Games advantage. And of course, as you expected, the heels won. Rhea Ripley won, and afterwards the teams brawl, and just a way to hype up Survivor Series, and that's it. Like I said, it wasn't a horrible show. It was just meh. Nothing much really happened. I gave it a C. It didn't hurt anything, but it also didn't make anything more exciting. Especially with the letdown on not knowing who the fifth member of the women's team is. We're not going to find out until Friday on SmackDown. I'm still sticking with my predictions saying Becky Lynch, which you will see, of course, in my Survivor Series preview and predictions. Which I will do those next. But first, I will take a quick shower, take a quick breather, come back here, do my Survivor Series predictions, and then we will go from there. So guys, I gave Raw a C this week. Just a meh, average. It was their show. What are your guys' thoughts on Raw this week, guys? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video, subscribe our content on my channel, and to try to use this now, follow me on Twitter at the Club of the Man 93. I will also, I'm not going to advertise yet on my channel, but I will give a shout out here and there and advise if you also are, a fan of me and you want to, expand, and start, see my test run of my social media expansion experiment, you may follow me on TikTok also at the Club of the Man 1993. And how I'll advertise that, I will tell you guys to shout for meatball sub. Yes. Definitely check out my pinned TikTok on TikTok, as I mentioned how Bray Wyatt's new theme Shatter sounds like when it says "Die for me, my brother." Instead, it sounds to me as saying "Shout for meatball sub," so you can shout for meatball sub and follow me on TikTok at the Club of the Man 1993. Hopefully, once I get some things, changed up a little bit, we will, of course, have that advertised as well. And also, my ending graphic will now say just subscribe. I took the Twitter handle off just until I get all, which social medias I'm going to be doing all figured out. And, of course, I get my new intro done as well. I do have an idea for what I'm going to do for that intro. And I will say also, it will have a catchphrase, and it'll be a parody of something that's recently happened in wrestling. So guys, until then, I'll see you guys in a few minutes for my Survivor Series preview and predictions. And as always, guys, have a great rest of your night. Have a great Thanksgiving. And I'll catch you all soon. Peace out, everybody.